From above, the North Sea may seem to be clear and open. But for shipping, how open will the open waters of the North Sea remain in the future? The demands being placed upon the North Sea's marine areas are many. Already hosting some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, traffic levels in the North Sea are growing. Larger bulk cargo and container ships operate side by side with fishing boats and leisure craft. And to avoid congestion on roads in the region, seaborne transport is now increasingly favoured. But this is also adding to the density of traffic. And there are other pressures. The North Sea already hosts many oil and gas installations, and there are plans to significantly expand the existing number of wind farms to meet demand for new sources of offshore energy. If we add the North Sea's rich diversity of natural habitats and the demands of wider marine spatial planning, navigation in the North Sea region faces a significant challenge. It must respond by working together with marine spatial planners to find solutions. Now, adopting a transnational approach involving 11 partners from across the region, a new EU-funded project, ACCSEAS, is taking a closer look at these challenges.
I think shipping industry is facing an enormous challenge in the coming decades on the North Sea. What used to be an open space is now confined waters. There is an enormous development of windmill parks. Not so much today, but when we look at the map of projected and planned windmill parks in the North Sea, we see large areas covered. And this will have great influence on shipping in the coming years. Shipping industry has to be made aware of this. They will have a choice. Either you fight this development or you go along with it. And going along with this development will probably need that you need to confine shipping into narrow channels. That in turn is new challenges. How do we support the mariner on the bridge, navigating in such a, I would almost say, street-like conditions on the North Sea? It's a great challenge that we see already in the beginning of the ACCSEAS project.
Listening closely to mariners and other users, ACCSEAS is using a geographic information system to assess maritime traffic trends and the issues that obstruct available safe access. The geographic information system, which may also be used as an ACCSEAS legacy tool by the relevant regional administrations for future marine spatial planning, has produced some interesting findings from its early analysis. These findings point to possible future reductions in space that is navigable in the North Sea. So improving awareness is critical.
After more than 10 years on the Esbjerg Heritage Route, it is my experience that during construction of windmill farms, it generates extra traffic and sometimes even disturbances and delays in the ports acting as hubs for the construction works. If the amount of planned windmill farms becomes a reality, we need to focus on the challenges it gives for us to navigate the North Sea in a safe and efficient way.
ACCSEAS aims to do more than raise awareness about future pressures on space. It will develop and demonstrate possible solutions in a regional testbed for e-navigation in the North Sea. It will use the International Maritime Organization's e-navigation framework, complement e-maritime and build on EU regional projects. Targeting key routes in the busy southern area of the North Sea, the testbed will put the mariner at its centre. It will focus on providing more reliable and timely information to improve both safety and efficiency in navigation. Improving accessibility to the region's congested ports will be essential.
As a researcher, but also with a background as a VTS manager, I would say that with the concept of maritime spatial planning, the notion of freedom of the seas will have to shift. And unfortunately, I'd say that the shipping industry is not really aware of what's happening. I think the ACCSEAS project will help develop e-navigation tools which might aid the navigator in maritime spatially planned areas in the future.
The outcomes of ACCSEAS aim to maximise the potential to expand and evolve e-navigation solutions. This calls for a collaborative approach.
Now, looking at the challenges for the North Sea, two issues are very important. First, the involvement of users, and secondly, the collaboration between national administrations and competent authorities. ACCSEAS, as a project, is meeting these requirements by the establishment of groups for users, service providers and policymakers. And beside that, annual conferences are going to be organized for all stakeholders. And this kind of structure may even proceed after the project ends.
The work of ACCSEAS is underway. The challenges are becoming clear, with outreach, engagement and cooperation being central at every stage. Its journey towards defining potential e-navigation solutions in the North Sea region will continue.